"You're not even in the will, Claire," my sister shouted across the funeral reception table. Everyone turned to stare. My plate froze halfway to my mouth. Then the family lawyer quietly cleared his throat slowly. "My name is Claire Whitaker, and I'm 34 years old. I work as a public school librarian in a small town in the Midwest. My life isn't flashy. It never has been. I don't drive a fancy car, and I don't wear expensive clothes. Most days, I spend my time helping kids find books and fixing the old computer at the front desk. It's a quiet life, but I've always liked it that way. In my family, though, quiet was never impressive. My sister Emily was the one everyone noticed. She was confident, loud, and always knew how to charm people in a room. Growing up, she was the favorite. At every birthday party, every Thanksgiving dinner, every Christmas morning, our mother praised her. Emily was the one they always bragged about. Meanwhile, I was the dependable one, the one who showed up, the one who listened. When our mother started getting sick 2 years ago, I was the one who visited her every week. I brought groceries, I cleaned her kitchen, I sat beside her hospital bed when she needed someone to talk to. Emily came sometimes, but she was always busy. Work, travel, parties. Somehow, though, when relatives visited, Emily was the one who told everyone how much she was taking care of Mom. I never corrected her. I never argued. I always believed love didn't need an audience. When our mother passed away, I didn't expect money or praise from her will. I honestly just wanted the funeral to pass peacefully. But what Emily didn't know was that my mother and I had one very important conversation near the end of her life. I wasn't rich or glamorous, but I had something they didn't expect. Before I go any further, let me say something to you. A lot of people spend their whole lives being underestimated by their own families. Maybe you're the quiet one, the one who helps but never gets credit. If that sounds familiar, you're not alone. If you've ever felt overlooked like that, consider subscribing to this channel. I want to hear your story too. Have you ever stayed quiet while someone assumed you were weak or worthless? If you have, click like or click hype and share your experience in the comments. I read them all. Now let me tell you what happened next. The funeral service had ended an hour earlier. Everyone had moved downstairs to the church basement for the reception. The room smelled like coffee, warm casseroles, and those sweet rolls church ladies always bring to gatherings like this. People sat around long, folding tables. Some were whispering, others were pretending not to talk about the one thing everyone was thinking about: my mother's house, her savings, her will. Emily stood near the center table with a cup of coffee in her hand. She was laughing with a couple of cousins. Then she glanced at me. "I guess some people only showed up hoping for money," she said loudly. A few people chuckled nervously. I kept eating my food. I didn't respond. Emily leaned forward slightly. "Oh, come on, Claire," she said. "Everyone already knows." The room went quiet. Then she said the sentence that stopped my fork in midair. "Mom left everything to me. You're not even in the will." Every head turned toward me. I could feel the heat rising in my face. A few relatives looked at me with pity. Others looked uncomfortable. I didn't say a word. Then I heard a chair scrape softly behind us. Mr. Dalton, our family lawyer, stepped closer to the table. He was holding a thick folder in his hands. He cleared his throat. "The official reading of the will happen tomorrow morning," he said calmly. "All immediate family members are invited." He placed the folder under his arm again. As he walked away, I noticed something. That folder looked thick, much thicker than a simple will should be. Emily laughed confidently. She was certain she had already won. Over the next 24 hours, things got worse. The first betrayal came that evening. My phone buzzed while I was at home making tea. It was a message from my cousin Jenna. "Hey, I think this was sent to you by accident," she wrote. Attached was a screenshot of a family group chat. Emily had written a message. After the will reading tomorrow, we're having a private dinner at Riverside Grill to celebrate. Just close family. My name wasn't on the list. They had planned a celebration without me. The second betrayal came later that night. I went to the grocery store to grab a few things. As I walked down the cereal aisle, I heard Emily's voice near the checkout. She was talking to two neighbors. Honestly, Claire barely helped Mom at all. I was the one handling everything. I stopped behind the shelf. The neighbors looked over and noticed me standing there. Their smiles faded quickly. I grabbed my groceries and walked away without saying anything. The third betrayal happened after midnight. My phone rang. "Emily," I answered. "Claire, we need to talk," she said quickly. Her voice sounded sharp. "There's some paperwork you need to sign tomorrow before the will reading." "What kind of paperwork?" I asked. "Just something confirming you're not claiming the house," she said. "Why would I sign that?" I asked. "Because it's easier for everyone," she snapped. "I'd like to read it first," I replied calmly. Her tone changed instantly. "You're unbelievable," she said. "You're trying to cause problems." "I'm not signing anything tonight," I said. She hung up on me. Oddly enough, I didn't feel angry anymore. I felt calm, because I knew something Emily didn't. During the last few weeks of my mother's life, we spent a lot of quiet afternoons together. One afternoon, she asked me to bring a folder from the drawer in her bedroom. Inside were documents, letters, printed emails. She looked at me carefully. "Some people think kindness means weakness," she told me softly. She explained that over the past few years, she had started keeping records, bank withdrawals, credit card statements, messages, notes about conversations. At first, I didn't understand why. Then she showed me something. Several large withdrawals from her account that she hadn't approved, all connected to Emily. My mother had written dates beside them. "I don't want to fight after I'm gone," she said quietly, "but I want the truth protected." She had made copies of everything, and she asked me to keep them safe. I never planned to use them, but after the funeral reception, I realized the moment might be coming. The next morning, my phone rang again. This time, it was Mr. Dalton. "Claire," he said kindly, "I just wanted to check that you'll be attending the reading today." "Yes," I said. He paused. "I've known your family for many years," he continued. "Sometimes people believe a story before they hear the facts." His voice grew slightly firmer. "Today might surprise some people." Meanwhile, Emily was acting more confident than ever. She posted on social media about finally taking control of the family house. Later that morning, we met several relatives for brunch before the reading. Emily laughed loudly at the table. "Well," she said, "after today, Claire will probably need to find somewhere else to live." A few relatives nodded. They thought the outcome was already decided. I stayed quiet. I simply watched. Later, Mr. Dalton leaned toward me in the hallway. "Sometimes the truth only needs the right moment to speak," he said. The will reading took place in Mr. Dalton's law office. The room smelled faintly like old paper and polished wood. Several relatives sat in chairs along the wall. Emily took the seat closest to the desk. She looked confident. Mr. Dalton opened the thick folder. "Your mother's will is 17 pages long," he said calmly. Emily smiled. The first few pages described the basic estate details. Then Mr. Dalton turned another page. "There is also a personal statement written by your mother," he said. He began reading. The statement described her final years, her illness, the help she received. Then came a sentence that changed the room. "My daughter Claire visited me every week and helped me through my illness with patience and kindness." Emily's smile faded slightly. Mr. Dalton continued. The statement then mentioned financial concerns, several withdrawals from the account that had not been authorized. He placed printed bank records on the desk, emails, receipts, dates. The room went silent. Emily stood up suddenly. "This is ridiculous," she said loudly. Mr. Dalton kept reading. The final pages revealed something even bigger. The house and most of the estate had been placed into a trust, and I had been named the manager of that trust. Emily would receive a small portion only. The document stated clearly that this decision was due to prior financial misuse. Emily's voice grew louder. "This is unfair," she protested. But no one interrupted the lawyer. I didn't speak. I simply sat there while the truth unfolded. When the meeting ended, relatives slowly approached me. Some looked embarrassed, others apologized quietly. "We didn't know," one cousin said. I stepped outside the office building and felt the cool air on my face. For the first time in years, my chest felt light. Emily stormed past me toward the parking lot without saying a word. The inheritance itself didn't feel like a victory. The real victory was hearing the truth spoken out loud. I realized something important that day. I didn't need approval from people who never tried to understand me. As I walked down the sidewalk, I remembered the last thing my mother told me. Kindness isn't weakness. If you've ever been publicly humiliated or falsely accused by your own family, you know how deeply that pain cuts. Share your story in the comments. Your voice matters here. Subscribe if you've ever been the quiet person everyone underestimated. And if this story reminded you that truth eventually comes out, click hype to help it reach others who need to hear it. Standing up for yourself isn't always loud. Sometimes it's quiet patience. If this story meant something to you, subscribe and become part of this community. Let me know it helped by clicking hype. And tell me where you're watching from in the comments. I love seeing how far these stories travel.